Hello everyone, hi, this is Maru-chan. It's October 3rd, 2021 at 5 a.m. and welcome to the Maru-chan podcast, the podcast where you guys will get to hear my before and after thoughts about games that we're about to do or are doing. And in this case, we're doing the afterthoughts of a game. Well, I'll get to that in a minute, but first let's get to our guest for today. Would you
Hi, everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Suyuancutie. I have a channel called The Learn Chinese with Suyuan YouTube channel, and if you want to check it out, go ahead. I teach Chinese there, and today we're gonna do the afterthought of the game called God of War.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. And so just to kind of summarize everything that we did throughout this week, and did you enjoy the game?
Yes, I enjoy it a lot. How about you?
Okay, let's not lie here. You enjoyed it, but was it
Yeah,
stressful?
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot, but it's my first time playing this kind of game, so it's kind of really hard to me, and it's stressful. I need an intense amount of
Concentration.
concentration to play the game. It's just that it kind of stressed me out to go through the level, but I'm happy that I try it.
Yeah, actually, she was sighing a lot, but she was having fun, concentrating, doing her thing, killing enemies. You could see a sort of satisfaction in her face whenever she would finish like a really hard level. She was like, ah.
How do I look?
You looked happy. You looked
Yeah.
happy and stressed, but a little bit more happy than anything. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about God of War today, and yeah. So guys, we're having a guest, and if you guys would like to hear the before thoughts before you guys listen to this, you guys can. And so yeah, just pause the video and click on it, and we will wait for you. Okay. So we're gonna guess you're back already if you clicked on it. So let's go ahead and get into this week's game, which is, like she said, God of War. And honestly, it's a really fun game. I actually thought it was really good coming back to a game that I've beat a long time ago. Actually, I didn't even remember anything. Actually, games from a very long time ago, sometimes I don't even remember nothing. So yeah, it's nice to go back. And I don't know, something about me is that every single time I go back to a really, really old game, I always feel accomplished. I feel like that was one of the things I needed to do in my life, like a bucket list, you could say. Yeah, it's just God of War is one of those titles you need to try. Like everyone needs to try if you're a gamer or into games. So yeah, I'm happy I got back to it.
When you talk about this part, I actually want to interrupt since I have the same feeling because God of War is one of the console game, the first console game that I ever tried. And before I just only tried like 5-10 minutes, and every time Maru showed me a trailer of the new God of War, I always feel like, why didn't I try to play this game? Why didn't I try to play the old game to know about the story? It's such a cool game, and here I am today. That's why I try it out. You guys, if you guys didn't play this game, you should try it out too.
Although it is difficult though. I don't know how I beat it when I was a kid. I don't know how any kid beat this. I don't know how anyone beat this. Actually, it's not that hard, but it also depends on the difficulty that you put on the game. But honestly, it has its own little challenges. It's not overly hard. Now it's gonna be hard if it's like your first time picking up a game, mostly this kind of game. But if you're generally a gamer, you played games, you know the basic concepts, you'll be able to know and figure out like where all the secret hidden walls are. Just kind of video game logic sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna be getting into. And yeah, your first handheld experience, because she actually played one on the PSP, not on the PlayStation. So, but if you've played Chain of Olympus or Ghost of Sparta, which are the two PSP titles, you'll relatively know that they're actually true to how the game actually feels. If you play those games, they feel just like the one on the PS2 or PS3 or PS4.
Yeah, you know what? The combo in this game actually exactly the same as the combo that I tried in that God of War game long ago. Maybe like 8-10 years ago,
Yeah, so yeah, actually, it's they made those after this game, so they did learn. They learned how
Yeah.
to optimize it for a PSP. So yeah, it's and this game came out. The game that we played came out in 2005. So wait, how old were you in 2005?
I was like 9 years old.
I was 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were young. We were little kids. We were young'uns,
Young, broken, dumb. Right?
young, broken, dumb. Well, kind of. I was
Young, dumb, and
selling
broke.
Pokemon at that time. I was making if any of you that were my friends at that time are listening to this and I ripped you off with hacked Pokemon, I'm really sorry, man. I'm really Cody or Will or any of you other ones. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
But
Let's get down to the business.
okay. Oh, right, to the meat of things. So yeah, I think for the most part we looked at the trailers at the very beginning and we thought they kind of looked like trash. Obviously the VR what are they called? The tapes? VCR tapes. I can't even speak. So the VCR tapes that we looked at before we actually played the game, like the trailers online, those were really crappy, right?
Yeah,
Really blocky
because
and
it's not from the official company, right?
no, it's
What?
from some random dude recorded it with his
I
VCR.
just wonder why didn't Sony try to post their own trailer on YouTube or something,
No, if you try to just find old trailers, you won't find them. That includes like Mario Sunshine. That includes like almost anything. Actually, anything, because people didn't really think about keeping the old stuff back then. Now they do.
But later, now when they do, they can just repost their old game trailer, It's
well,
not that hard.
they can't do that, but I'm sure people wouldn't really care about that trailer. Since things change, styles of. If you look at the trailer, it just doesn't scream God of War. If you look at a trailer nowadays, like in 2021, it has to be extremely dramatic and it has to have a very, it has to have an exact format that every single person that makes a trailer makes. Yeah, it's very different, but it looked really bad at that point. But getting into the game, it actually looks really good. But I can probably only say that because we upscaled the resolution to 1080p, right? 1440p for a big portion of the game. So we actually got to see it better than most people. But we did play at the native resolution, the PS2 resolution, for a little while, right? We played it a little bit with
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I mean, we did try it out, and I have played it like that. Probably you don't have that experience, but still, I think it was still in the appearance side, it was really good. So I don't know. I thought the game sounded really nice. It felt really good. We haven't even gotten into the gameplay or anything, but yeah. So so the gameplay. I guess we're gonna talk about the fighting mechanics and all that before we get into the story and all of it. So what about the fighting in the game? What did you think about it? Like the gameplay, just the overall gameplay, doing things.
Oh, I just don't know how you usually start with your podcast. That's why,
It depends, but we usually do story at the end.
So I'll talk about what I like about the game. Okay.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I feel this game is really cool looking. It has really cool attack and combos, and I feel the story is really good and connected well.
Yeah.
And good puzzle. When you have to put pieces of information together to make the whole thing.
Right. Just like, yeah, when you have to maybe get a key from the very first area, like for the first locked area, and then you do a whole like puzzle or 3 puzzles, and then you come back later and you get that key.
Yeah, and hey, it's blow my mind because some chapter I thought it's already finished. Like I don't have to deal with that stage or the chapter anymore. But later in the next few chapter, I actually came back to that map to do something with it. I'm like, what the fuck,
That's like it feels like a connected world,
like,
right?
It's really connected all the chapter together, and it's like, oh god, the story is really good.
It's funny that you say that because for most players nowadays, they hate to do that, to retract back to areas they've gone before. This is a common thing that a lot of people don't like. Now, I feel when it's done correctly, like this, where you're in an area, and there's obvious places that you can't go to yet. Mario 64 did this really well. Banjo-Kazooie, where you have areas that you can clearly see are there, but you cannot reach yet because you don't have the items or the powers yet, or even the key. So yeah, that's a good one that you mentioned. Actually, I really like that about this game. It connects very well into the secrets and the hidden rooms and all that, and also to where you're supposed to go.
And one more thing that I like about the game is it has different kind of power to you. Like they give the player different option. Like the game has. Can I say that?
Sure. Oh yeah, we could talk about that.
The game has different power. Like Medusa Gaze, Poseidon Rage, Blade of Chaos, the Army of Hades, Blade of Artemis, and Zeus Fury. No, Fury.
Furry? Oh god.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what to say from that, but yeah. So like she said, there's a lot of different powers, and all of them will do different things, which we'll get into in a minute when we talk about the gameplay. We'll talk about those in a second, but so those are the things that you like,
Yeah,
right?
but,
How the
but
powers
you know
are
what
implemented.
I mean, right? Like you can have a ton of different kind of option when you in a fight. It's not like you just only have one or two. You have like 5, 6, 7 options to use, and I like that about the game because every power fit different situation. And
Right.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I always think that's a good way to implement skills into a game, which actually I'm gonna talk about that with the gameplay because this is part of it. So just like hack and slash games in the 2000s, early 2000s, there's a lot of them. So something like, well, this is not early 2000s, but Bayonetta, something like Devil May Cry. Did you ever hear about Dante before, Suyuan? Dante?
I don't know why it remind me of the skin in Fortnite. No.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a skin in Fortnite. It's Dante. It's like a Mexican skin. But no, Dante is a famous video game character that actually people want in Smash as well. It's this really badass game. You're this like really cool dude. He looks kind of like one of those like Korean what are they called? K-pop singers. But cool. He looks cool, not like kind of like girly, feminine. He actually looks like very manly. Now he doesn't have these big muscles, but you can see like his six-pack because he has no shirt, but he has like his coat or whatever. And this game, Devil May Cry, it's all about that. Swinging your sword around, using all your combos, using all your weapons, kind of like this game where you want to get your combo or your hits up, right? The more combos you get, the more spirits you get in this game. Because that's I don't know if you knew that, but if you hit people and you get a higher combo count, that means you get more
I did
more
not
spirits.
know about that until now.
Well, yeah, I noticed that as I was playing, I got like a 50-60 hit combo, and I got a ton of spirits, which I'll talk about the spirits in a second.
You mean the red power
Yeah,
to upgrade stuff, right?
Yeah, the red power, the orbs that come out of them.
Okay.
I'll talk about that in a second too. So yeah, you can go crazy. You got the light attacks, you got heavy attacks, and you got grabs. You also got like a push that you can do, which you could later upgrade it. You can do blocks, and you can jump. So these actually come into it in a very important way because you could do combos just like in Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. There's crazy combos, some that you would like, that you'll be at the very end of the game and you'll try and you're like, holy crap, I didn't even know that existed. So it's super cool, right? Like just the amount of options that you have.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And not only that, but each different enemy in the game, they have a different way to kill them. If you grab them and you press triangle, then you can rip them apart. If you grab them, you press square, it'll cut their head off. If you grab them, it'll stab them through the heart. But that's just one character. That's just one enemy. If you try with a different enemy, it'll be a completely different animation, something super cool.
So we have to give credit to the people
Developers.
that make the game.
Yeah, to the developers.
For this kind of port, they did work hard for it.
Yeah, the combo system is it's really good. There's a lot of ways to kill tons of enemies. I love it. And so like she said, there's gonna be different powers. So like we said, Poseidon's Rage, Blades of Chaos, Medusa's Gaze, Zeus's Fury, Blade of Artemis, and Army of Hades. Now, we're not gonna talk about all of them right now. I think we should talk about them when we talk in the story, right?
Yeah. That's easier to understand, you know?
Yeah, kind of in that situation, since they put...
But do you think some people that they don't really play the game but they listen to our podcast?
What about it though? What's their point?
So, no, I'm just talking about if they play the game, even if they already play the game, they will understand what we're saying, you know?
Oh,
the
yeah,
power
yeah.
that we talk about. But if they never play the game, they were like, what the fuck is that power, you know? Unless we put it in the situation that we tell them what
it
that
is.
power about.
Yeah. Well, I think we should talk about that when we actually got those powers in the story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could mix these powers in different situations, and not only that, but with your combos, which is pretty cool. I also like the whole upgrading system. You can upgrade all of those powers with the orbs that you get, when killing enemies or when you find them through destroying items in the overworld. You get orbs from chests, right? The red chest, and you can get health with the green chest and mana with the blue chests. So there's a lot that goes into it. With the more that you upgrade these powers or your weapons, you'll get more combos or you'll get more special abilities. For example, if you're using, I'm gonna talk about Poseidon's Rage because this one is the very first one. So Poseidon's Rage is the very, very first power that you get in the first mission called Aegean Sea. And once you get it, like at first, it kind of like shoots down a bolt of lightning onto Kratos. And it's really cool. Like it hits everyone, but the distance is very little. It's like it doesn't hit, the range is very little. But once you actually like upgrade it, the range becomes much bigger. You can add a little spinny attack to it, so it's like it gives it more characteristics. It makes it very unique when you upgrade the powers. I think that was super cool about it. So and each one you can upgrade it and do even more things, so that's awesome. But what about collectibles? Were there any collectibles in the game where you can collect something?
What do you mean? Collectible?
Collectibles are things that you can collect. Do you remember any?
Not really. Like, do you mean something to open the door and
something that you can get and you can have it and it serves a purpose for something? For example, one collectible that's not really a collectible, is more of a consumable collectible, is the health, mana, and spirit chest, right? You can collect that. You can also collect Gorgon Eyes. Gorgon Eyes, if you get 5 of them, you will get more health. That's called a collectible. What was the other one? The Phoenix Feather.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, if you get the Phoenix Feather, your mana will go up if you get 5 of them. So these are interesting things that you can get in the game. There are walls that you can break, hidden areas. Sometimes you get like 2 or 3 options of places to go, and you won't know which is the correct way or which way is the secret way. Because if you go to the correct way, then you just miss the chest or you miss the, these things that you want to essentially get. I honestly think that we collected most of it. I honestly think that we did explore a lot and we checked every, most nook and crannies.
I agree.
Our health looked pretty good. And actually, by the end of the game, we did level everything up. Just to keep it clear. We did level up everything besides the sword, right? The sword was the only one we didn't get. We got to like the second level, but we didn't get the third level. And yeah, I'll mention more at the end of that. So now we're gonna talk about the actual story itself. Obviously, the game is good, and yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and tell you guys our experience about God of War and how the game is. So, what is the name of the dude? What's his name?
Kratos?
Kratos?
Yeah, Kratos.
Okay, and so how did we start it here?
Kratos.
Kratos.
His voice so dramatic. Right?
Yeah,
Can
really
you do
low.
his voice?
Kratos.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really low. He has that like I'm gonna kill
It's really
you.
cool, you know. Like,
I'm gonna kill you, Eris.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really low, really cool. Yeah. So, would you like to talk about the beginning? You could start it
the
out.
story.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. There are 17 chapters in total, and I'll start with the first chapters. Okay. The first chapters called Agency, right?
Yeah.
Maru?
Agency.
Agency. And in this chapter, we mostly learn the basic, you know, since it's the beginning of the game. So they just kind of show us how to use this, how to use that button and thing.
Yeah.
And
What about the cutscene before that?
the cutscene? I think they show us Kratos, right? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Okay,
Can
so
you talk about
yeah, I'm actually gonna talk about it, and I'm not gonna say like
detail?
in detail because it actually goes on with the story later on. So at the very beginning of the game, you see Kratos. His face is in the menu screen, and I love this part about the game. His face is on the menu screen, right? When you go up and down to click new game or load or options, you'll see his face, and he's looking at you. And when you click start new game, you'll see that it actually just zooms into his face, and the cutscene starts. And actually, he's like, the gods can't help me anymore. And then he jumps off a cliff, and you're like, what the hell?
I remember.
We'll talk about that part in detail
Yeah.
later. So all you know is that he jumps off a cliff, and that's how the game starts. Then conveniently, the first level in the game is an ocean, or you're on a sea, kind of like where he jumps to the sea. So yeah, that's where it fits really well, because it's like, oh well, he jumped into the sea, and then you end up in a boat. So maybe he like woke up or something. Someone helped him. But we'll talk about that at the very end. So first level agency. So what happens in there?
Yeah, I think they just show us how to use the basic, the button, different button, how to use it, you know. And I don't know. I just remember after that we beating the Hydra twice.
Well, would you like to talk about the setting first, so people understand where we are in the what's the mission? How does it look? Just really quick. Where does it take place? Do you remember? It takes place in a boat, right?
Yeah.
It's raining. It's raining really hard. It's chaotic. There's people dying. People are getting taken away by those like bat things. Are being killed by the bat things. So yeah, that's basically what happens. At the beginning, you see a ton of enemies, and you start fighting them, and you go through the boat, and then afterwards, that's when you see a Hydra. So you have to fight the Hydra. I think this is. I have to remember. I think the first Hydra, was it inside the boat or was it outside? I think it was inside, right? Like inside the boat. I think it was outside. Yeah, the first Hydra that you kill is outside of the boat, and so once you beat it, once you hit it, and it like tries to hit you, bite you every once in a while. Then afterwards, what you have to do is, you end up inside another boat, and that's when you start to kill the second Hydra.
Oh. I don't know why after I played so many chapters that right now I feel like I lost my memories, you know.
Yeah, I'm sometimes like that.
It's really details, Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk about like general stuff but at the beginning we did write kind of a lot, and we're
Yeah.
just gonna kind of give you guys the feel of the game first, and then afterwards we won't go into like every little detail of every room. It's only now that we kind of did that, so you guys can get an understanding of how the game looks or feels by the podcast itself. So yeah, here the second Hydra that you fight, it actually teaches you how to use quick time events. When you press like O or X or triangle or square. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you do remember that. Okay, cool. Afterwards, I remember at that part you have to walk over a piece of wood, right? Very slowly.
I remember we were stuck in that part for a little while.
I don't know how, but we did. It's actually not difficult. It's very easy. And the funny part about it is that you're gonna see these sort of things a lot, where you have to walk on a piece of wood. So this is the one that's under the boat. And as you keep walking, there's a dude that looks at you and he's like, the Ghost of Sparta! He's like so scared. And that was kind of funny to me. Then you move on, and then that's where you fight the bats. Afterwards, you fight some bats, some like hybrid harpy bats, and you fight another Hydra. But before you fight the second Hydra, I remember we were walking on a mast of a ship. Remember, we kept falling.
Where?
In one of the parts where we had to like move from one ship to another, and we had to slowly walk, and we kept falling inside and dying.
Is that the wood thing again?
Yeah, the wood thing, the second wood thing.
Okay.
So there's a wood thing, and there's two ways that you can go, right or straight. If you go to the right, you can get a like special chest, and if you go forward, you can just move on. So we would always go for the difficult stuff to find, and we went towards that one, but it's the piece of wood is so thin, right? And sometimes when you would fall coming back, you would just completely fall. You could usually like hang, and then you can get back up, but there it didn't let you. We died at least a good 10 times, right?
Yeah, about this part, I have to say I don't really like the way the developer making this. I felt like they making it too hard on purpose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, this brings me to another topic. I'll get to the story in a second. The camera in this game. This is a standstill camera. It puts it in one area, and as soon as you move to another location, it might change. So this can be confusing to people because you have to then, after you start walking, you have to completely move your controller a different direction. And actually, this is the sort of thing you'll see in Resident Evil, and it's horrible. You feel like you're a tank. Well, it's not that bad like Resident Evil, but still, it's the same kind of cameras that you will see in Resident Evil 1, 2, 3. Not 4, but Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, the camera could cause you to die many times. And that's just because of the camera. Sometimes the camera is just sucky. So, that's something to keep in mind with these God of War games. They're always, well, at least the first ones, you cannot really move the camera. It's they place it.
Yeah, and another thing that I feel is not so convenient is the controller, because the controller that we use has different buttons than the
right.
PS2. It's
We played on an Xbox 360
it's hard
controller.
for me even at the beginning until way later in the game, because I couldn't remember the button, since it's different.
Yeah, on the 360 it's A, X, Y, A, B, and on the PlayStation controller you get the triangle, square, X, and circle. So of course it's gonna be different, and you can't look down. And mostly in the QuickTime events where you have to press the buttons, right? It's difficult. Mostly if you don't know or you haven't played a lot of PS2. I have.
Yeah.
I can remember everything and how to press them. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the controls are kind of clunky. One thing that we could probably talk about too, really quick, is that if you want to open a switch or you want to interact with something around the room, or an item, you have to be at the perfect spot. Sometimes when you walk to an item, and you should be able to press the R2 button so you can use it, but you can't because you need to be standing at the perfect spot, the perfect angle, looking at it from a 35 degrees and being 2 meters away from it. It's like, yeah, it's so exact, and I didn't like that part. Obviously, she's not used to it, so she had big problems with it. Like, I would tell her, hey, can you pull that lever? And she's like, I can't. I'm like, just pull it. And she's like, I can't. And I'm like, just pull it. It's right there. But the thing is, you need to walk to the left side of the lever, and you need to, like, position yourself ever so slightly in the perfect position, or not. When you press R2, it doesn't work.
Yeah, technically you have to try every angle of the item to
Yes.
check out where can you get the item or pull it or push it or whatever you want
It's
to do
clunky.
with it,
Very
interact
clunky.
with the item.
Yeah, it's very clunky. I remember this happened to you in one of the rooms with the lever. Remember, it's on the floor, and you had to pick it up, and we had to take it back to sacrifice a dude, and
Yeah.
you were
And
like,
also the one thing later on in the game is the rope. I don't know if you remember the rope to climb up.
oh yeah,
It's like, it's so hard to interact with the rope. It feels like you can't at all. But later Maru actually did interact with it. I don't know how.
yeah. When even when I was trying it from the bottom, he just wouldn't grab on the rope. But when I did it from the top, it worked fine. But from the bottom, I had to try like 20, 30 times, and then I finally got on. Also, on another part where we needed to jump on a box, and then jump on another part. To jump on the box, it's like there was a wall around the box, like
Yeah,
a
it's
visible
so
wall.
hard.
It's so bad. So it's not that bad because yeah, platforming is very important in this game, but it's not like you're playing Mario Brothers where it's the most important thing in the game. So yes, it is really important to have really tight and good controls, but honestly, this game does not all it is. So I can't really hate the game that much for it, because it's not, if it was Mario Brothers and it's all about jumping and that's the whole point of the game, then yes, I would say this game is shit.
Yeah.
But this game is about killing and other stuff, so
Hey, and
can
just to
forgive it.
remind us that we need to know that this game is in 2005, right? It's not
Right.
like right now. So we shouldn't judge an old game by our own technology and perspective right now.
well, I think we can. Because if we look at games at that point, there were plenty of games in 2005 that moved so perfectly. For example, Mario 64 that came out 1997. So how was there a game on the Nintendo 64 that had better controls than a PS5 game in 2005? You know what I mean? So we can compare it. There were tons of games on the PS2 that had much better controls in terms of the, like, when you touch an item, it'll touch it. When you jump on a ledge, it'll grab it. This sort of thing is like, there are ways that we can compare it though. But whatever. It was in 2005, and it was probably their first time making a game. If it wasn't, then there was a lot of developers. You may not just know the games they made before, but they probably made a few games before that. All I can say is that it was not the worst thing ever, because I've played a billion different games that have. It's like Bubsy 3D. I'll show you what that is later, Suyuan. Bubsy 3D. It's a 3D game, but it's still 2D. And it's so bad. The controls, when you jump, you don't jump. When you move, you don't move. When you walk, you don't walk. You go back instead. It's so stupid.
It
Trust me.
sounds like the Joy-Con drift.
It's Joy-Con drift, but without the drift. Yes, it's crazy, and it's good for you guys if you're gonna play the game to actually know about this, because it's something that will make you angry plenty of times throughout the playthrough. So just letting you guys know. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and keep going. So at this point, after dying a ton of times because of the clunky controls in that wood area, I believe we did a puzzle where we had to. There were like women in it, right? Inside the door, there was like a door with women in it, yelling, help! Like, oh, help us, help us!
Oh, and we tried to find a key or something, right?
And we found our first power, which was Poseidon's Rage. After that, we climbed up a mast of the ship, and then
Yeah, I remember we climbed to the thing, looked like the mountain thing, like the wall, but kind of mountain.
it's the mast of the ship.
And that's the first time I see this kind of thing, and it's so funny looking. I told you, it looked like when we tried to hit the enemy when we climbing, it looked like we cleaning the spider web in the house.
It looks like you're cleaning a window in a building or at your house.
Yeah,
it looks
funny looking.
It looks really funny. It doesn't look like he's hitting people, but the animations are really cool when you grab someone there.
Yeah.
Like if they're on top of you, it'll grab their feet and just throw them straight down.
Yeah, I love that, and I love when Maru try to grab the guy next to him and smash him into all the enemy, and two of them, like, or three of them fall at the same time. It's so cool.
But the funniest thing that you can possibly do is sometimes there's a jump that you can do from the left to the right or right to the left. Like you jump over like a piece of wall that's not there, and as soon as they're about to jump to your side, you hit them, so they'll just fall, and they look really funny. It looks like they look so innocent.
I suddenly think of the glitch. I think when you did that in later chapter.
Yeah, later on.
The guy just like randomly fell and boom. Do you remember?
Which one?
One part that you climbed to the kind of mountain thing.
Yeah.
And one guy, he just randomly fell. You didn't even hit him, I think.
Oh yeah.
And we was laughing.
Yeah, I remember
it's
that.
Like it's so dramatic and like, huh?
Yeah, so we were just walking by one of the parts, and this dude randomly fell like at 100 miles per hour, just so fast, and he just died. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
It was like Cyberpunk. Think of it like Cyberpunk. Yeah, basically that. And so it can get glitchy, but yeah, we climbed up a thing and we went on another boat, and that's when we got Poseidon's Rage, the power where, you know, the electricity comes and like thunderbolts you, and it like hits around you. So it's a good ranged attack if there's a ton of enemies around you.
Yeah, and I think the god of the ocean give us that power.
Yeah, Poseidon. So here's where we started to fight. We needed to get the key, right? We needed to get the key from the dude, since we needed to open up the door for where the women were at. Yeah. And so we went to the other ship, and there were two hydras. The two hydras that we fought, the two hydras were there, the baby ones. And the mama hydra was like...
Like three of the hydras there. Two small one and one giant one.
Right, and the giant one, you have to climb the mast.
Yeah.
But you can't climb it because the baby ones keep hitting you.
So you can't do anything with the big one yet, right? You have to beat the two small one first.
Right, yeah. And to do that, actually, it took us a little while to figure it out because I kept hitting them and they keep coming back to life if you just hit them. Because after you hit them and you take all of their health, they'll just kind of like rest on the floor and then they'll get back up. And you can keep doing this forever. So what you have to do is you have to jump on some boxes and you have to hit the anchor, which will fall on, on their head, and then they can't move. So I basically did that like 20 times, and after I figured that out, so I hit them, I hit the anchor thing, and it stabbed them on their head, so they can't move, and that's when we went to the top and fought the mama hydra, which was actually not too hard. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. It's not, because all she does is push you back. She doesn't actually even hurt you. Like if you move correctly, it's just you're waiting for her to come and bite the mast so you can hit her. But honestly, it's really...
But you know what? I hate the part that she roam at you, and it's pushing you so far. Roar at you.
Sometimes you fall and you have to climb back up.
You fell all the way down and you have to climb back up. That part is so annoying.
It's just annoying. It's like for a first final boss, or not final, for the first boss, I honestly think it's kind of like not good at all. But after, once you hit it a few times and you do the quick time events, it's really cool. I remember that you end up like hitting it and then stabbing it in the middle pole, right? Like it stabs
the eye or something.
Right, it stabs it, but like when you kill it completely, it stabs it through its like mouth,
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was really cool
Yeah,
because you
cool
stab its
looking.
whole head through the pole, and it's just like it's like dead. And from there, you actually go inside its mouth, and you go and you remember that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You go inside its mouth, and
The guy thought.
there's a dude falling inside its stomach. So he's like, "Oh, you're here to rescue me," and you're like, "No, I'm here for the key." And then you like take the key off and kick him inside the stomach,
Yeah.
and he dies. That's great. Um,
Yeah, you know, uh, in this chapter 1, I feel the game is kind of fighting and solving puzzle at the same time. Like kicking the box to be able to climb up. Do you remember that part? That a ton of enemy, I think, try to shoot the arrow at you, and you have to kick the box closer to them so you can climb up to the
yeah,
wall.
actually, this was before the door with the women.
Yeah, it's in chapter 1.
Right. Yeah. That was a part
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
have to. That's where you learn how to kick certain items.
Yeah, or you
that you're
jump
pulling
up,
or
jump up
pushing.
high to get the spike to fall down to kill the 2 small hydras.
We already talked about that.
Yeah. That's one I kind of liked it, you know? Like you have to figure out the way to solve
kill
it.
to solve and kill the boss. Yeah, I think they're fun ways to kind of figure out what to do. Yeah, I think this was a good mission. Afterwards, you open the door once you get the key, and yeah, there's some dudes that end up killing all the women, and I believe there's a cutscene where it shows us what happened with Kratos and how he wants to remove his dreams. Right, he's having nightmares, so he asks Athena. He talks to Athena, and she asks him to kill Eris.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first mission where they actually tell you, hey, you need to kill this dude. Good mission though. I for the most part, for just an introductory mission, I think it was really good. So then we go to the Gate of Athens, right?
Yeah, chapter 2.
So yeah, that's chapter 2, and actually a lot of the parts in this game actually kind of are the same, to be honest, in terms of appearance, because you're a lot of this game is you're in Athens. Now in the other games you go to different areas, but in this game you spend like probably 60% in Athens, right? In the city.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I think like 60% of it's in Athens. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the Gate of Athens. I think you did this mission, right? So
Yeah, I did it.
at this point of the game, there's a lot of secret ways to like get more spirits. I remember that you could either go up the elevator, or you can go through a secret room, and once you go through the secret area, there's actually a way that takes you back to the main area, where now you can go through the next way to proceed. I thought that was super cool. The game gives you a lot of like options and paths, so you can take your time and go to each one and explore. Yeah, I thought that was super cool about it.
Yeah.
And this part, that's when we first saw you use the power. Oh, you actually get the power here. This blue power that wraps around your body, and you become super strong.
Yeah, for this level, I remember that we actually power up our man sword power, you know, to the level 1. So we get new combos and attack.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we learn new combos from upgrading our weapon.
Yeah.
And after that, I remembered the god asked me to defeat Medusa, and she appeared. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but we're not even there yet.
Oh.
You skipped like a good chunk of the mission. So in this area, you start to see new enemies that you wouldn't see before. For example, the Minotaurs, which actually in this game, there are a lot of enemies. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the enemies that you see throughout the game, they're the same ones, but with different skins. So I mean, you do get a variety. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not like you get like as many enemies like you get in nowadays. They're just not that much, but there's still a big amount of them, and they're pretty fun to kill. We saw Minotaurs, like those dudes with that keep I don't even know how to explain them. They're just minotaurs. I don't know if you know what a minotaur is, but yeah, you probably don't. So Suyun killed like 4 big dudes. I remember this is the first time she played. She got so stressed out at this because she couldn't do the button.
Oh, is it the one close to the gate, right? When
Yeah.
I first walked inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, "What the hell? My first mission, and I have to kill 4
New
big dudes."
enemies and strong. Yeah.
But to me, it's like when you fight an enemy, every enemy has their own weakness, and they're very slow compared to other characters. So yeah, it was funny to watch her kill those. Like I thought she wasn't gonna be able to, but she did at the end. Yeah, and afterwards you do a few more puzzles, and yeah, you talk to Aphrodite, right? Aphrodite
Who's Aphrodite?
is a god.
Oh.
You talk to that
yeah,
god, and
yeah.
she tells you about if you can kill Medusa,
Yeah.
I will give you the power to use her head.
Yeah, I will get you the power to freeze the enemies if you can kill her.
Yeah, with Medusa's head, right?
Yeah. So the god asked me to take the Medusa head.
But honestly, the first Medusa enemy that we saw was really creepy, right?
Yeah, so
She
creepy.
looked extra creepy. I don't know. Afterwards, they were normal. They looked normal to me after we saw them. But
Yeah.
at the first time, she just like looks weird and creepy.
So evil and like so traumatic. Zoom into her face and
And she's
you know?
like, "Rawr."
Yeah.
It's pretty scary stuff there. It's nightmare fuel, as we say. So yeah, after you kill those enemies, which you could roll away. They will use this thing to freeze you and turn you into stone. At that point, you want to make sure that you roll. Just make sure that you roll, nothing else. Then when she's done, just hit her. Yeah, so you kill her and you get her power, which is called Medusa's Gaze.
I think I want to talk a bit about the fight because I was fighting her, and I think this girl is quite strong. Once she frees you, she can kill you in an instant.
Oh yeah, that's
So
true.
it's like no way for you to get out. Once she frees you, one hit and done. You're dead. It's like that. So you gotta watch out. The tip here is to beat her. To beat her is hit her and then shield her attack. If she tries to freeze you, should dodge, draw her laser like maybe 4 or 5 times. After I kill her, I gain Medusa Gaze.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the god
Okay.
give me that power.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to shield a lot in this game. If you don't shield, and one beautiful thing about this game is parrying, perfect shielding. If you perfect shield, you have a chance to like hit them. And not only that, but later you get an upgrade where when you shield and you parry it and you actually attack, it'll do a special attack that takes a ton of damage and a ton of knockback. It's super great. So after we killed her, we did some more puzzles with a ton of enemies. I believe we even used a rope, right, and climbed across it. And that's when we eventually found the Oracle. In this part it said that she will help us kill Ares. And I remember in that part, I don't know why I wrote this, but he touches her boob. Remember?
Touches who?
Kratos touched her boob of the Oracle.
Oh.
Oh, not only that, I forgot one of the most important parts. When you're going from the Aegean to the Gate of Athens, you end up fucking these 2 girls, and there's a little game that you can, where you press buttons, and you can, fuck the girls and get spirit power or whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. And if you're a kid, you probably shouldn't be playing this game because you can see through everyone's shirt. Like every girl in this show, their tits are fucking flapping everywhere, like in an anime. They're just flapping everywhere, and they're see-through shirts. So, just letting you guys know in case you guys didn't expect that, because a lot of games weren't really like that at this time. Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to see, right? I don't think God of War right now be able to put that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, not really, no.
Oh, it's funny.
I mean, maybe they can. I know God of War 3 still had it,
Oh.
and that was like in 2007, 2008. Maybe they did have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe now they don't have it, but you can still do that sort of thing. But the bad thing about putting mature stuff into your games is that
It's limited your
the sales, because
audience.
it's M for mature.
Mm-hmm.
So not every person can buy it. But you know, in the US, everyone buys mature games. Doesn't matter. So next one is Road to Athens.
Yeah, I think you did this level, right?
Yeah, I did. So you find Eris, and he's this super really big, tall dude. I think I did this mission super fast. I didn't even remember how it goes. But yeah, he's really big, and all you do is go through a town. That's all
Yeah.
you do. It's really nothing interesting. You can go inside the houses if you break the doors. That's all. Yeah, you just walk towards him through the city place. I killed a ton of enemies and yeah.
Collect ton of boxes and
Oh,
kill enemies.
Yeah. I did increase my health the first time, right? At that point, I put it here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So okay, that's on to the next one. Athens Town Square.
Okay,
Do you want to talk about
did
this one?
this mission. Oh, I remember. I will call this a creepy chapter
Why?
because there's a woman that she keep crying and running away from me. She's so scared of me. Even now, after we beat the game, I still don't know why. You know, she's so scared of me.
Because you killed a ton of people.
Yeah, she's just crying and running away. You know, she run away, and I tried to follow her, and she keeps standing there, really far away in the dark and staring at me. It's so creepy. Imagine it's so dark, and you see a dark shadow standing there and staring at you.
Sleep paralysis, boy.
Oh,
I've had it.
shit.
I've had it.
No,
Like
I'm scared.
sleep paralysis is scary stuff. Yeah, actually, I know what she's talking about, but everyone is scared of him because they know what he did with like war and all of that, which we'll talk about later.
Oh, there's one thing in this chapter that I really like. There's an attack, a new attack, I think, that I can click L1 and the square, and my attack like turn in circle and hit everyone around
It's
me.
a cyclone attack. It's called the
Yeah,
Cyclone
I like
Attack.
that one. I use it a lot.
But
you know?
actually, it's a really bad attack later because once the enemies start shielding or it doesn't affect them, it's a useless
Yeah,
attack.
But in that chapter,
In
it's
that chapter, it was
actually
good.
Really useful in there.
Yeah, because in that chapter, no enemy would shield. But
Yeah.
after that chapter, every enemy would always shield. So you're kind of fucked. You can't. If you use that, you have to use that when you've already got them in like a 50 hit combo, so they can't hit you. Yeah, but yeah, that was a good mission. And in my opinion, it wasn't that bad. I put here that we had to go to. Yeah, she jumps off the building, right?
Yeah, she killed herself. She too scared of me that when I tried to follow her to the, you can say the balcony, right?
Yeah.
And she should jump up and kill herself. She'd rather die than seeing me. You know how
Yeah.
scary I am. Yeah, don't understand.
And that actually leads me to the next part. You have to you find a hatch. You find a hatch and you need to open it, but you can't because you need a key. So I think you need to get the key from her dead body, and then you go back around and then you open the hatch. And this is where I kind of taught Suyan that there are secrets everywhere, like even in the walls. I hit the wall and she was like, "What the hell? How did you know that was there?" Because through my eyes, I saw that that piece of the wall was glowing green or red. So I would always hit it. And so she learned that, you can destroy statues, you can destroy some walls. And but funny enough, she would hit even things that wouldn't get destroyed. But, that's just a normal thing. I've played enough Zelda to know what walls can break, which can't. So I wouldn't say anything. I just let her hit walls that I knew wouldn't do anything. I'm like, okay, just let her have her fun. If she finds something, she finds something. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Whatever.
I just double check it, you know.
Yeah.
I just like, is there any secret place?
Secret
Let me hit everywhere.
items. Yeah. No, I mean sometimes you find unexpected shit in games like Zelda, where you hit a wall that literally you wouldn't hit, and you find something rare. I thought that's cool. But yeah, so we upgraded our weapons here, and that's how we got the Cyclone Attack. Suyun did a pretty good job in this level, being able to like combo and stuff like it. I think I really liked it. So then we reach the Rooftops of Athens. I believe.
That's chapter 5.
Chapter 5, yes. And here, there were a few ways to go. I think there were like 2 ways to go inside this mission. Yeah, this is one thing that I didn't like, and maybe I don't like about any game in general. I have a bad thing about going to different paths, because I usually like to commit to one path, like go all the way. But in games like this, open world games, you can go to a path, and if you later find out that it was the real path, you can go back. But in games like this, sometimes it blocks your way, so you can't go back to that area, right? So you have to like either go to the secret area first and then to the correct path, or you go to the correct path and you miss out on the secret. So
yeah, I think it's good to have different options and way for people to go. I think it's okay to make extra path. If people try to go there, they will find something secret, right? Because that's their whole work. But I think when you make the path, not the main path, for too long, I feel like which one is the correct one? And if I run too far from this, can I still come back to this way? I want to try both,
Yeah, that's how I am. I want to go to both.
It's good to make that, but it should be limited.
I don't know. I feel like for the paths that are not the main one, maybe have like a
maybe really short way, so you can know, oh, you found something and that's all, and come back to the main one.
Yeah, but these would be like really long,
really long
hauls that would give you, like stuff. Anyway, in this one, I probably had the most confusion out of any. But yeah, here you get you go on the rooftops, and I remember you had to push this one thing. Here, let me actually take a look at what I was reading. Yeah, you had to shoot down a door. I remember we had to shoot down a door. We had to like move it, and then we had to twist. We had to twist the crossbow, because there's a crossbow that shoots to a door, but we needed to twist it. So it was like, how the heck do you turn it around? But yeah, you put it on the thing, you take it off, you put it back on, and you turn it again, and then you shoot the door, and that's when you get the new power, which is Zeus's Fury.
Yeah, another thing, more like puzzle thing. Right?
Another puzzle, right? And you get these lightning bolts, which are really fast, really good, really intense. And actually, you can, when you level them up, I love it, because if you shoot them normally, it's like L1X and square, and it shoots them really fast, and you can aim to whichever enemy. But when you upgrade it to like level 2 or 3, you can hold L1Y, and he charges it, right? And it's like a ton of thunders
L1,
on his and Y or triangle.
Yeah.
And he charges the thing, and it looks really intense. It looks like he's holding a fucking really big thunderbolt, and then when you throw it, it explodes once it hits the enemy, and it hits a ton of enemies.
Yeah, it's strong.
I really liked it. It's actually my favorite power, besides the ghost one, the army. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, from here, once you can go back to the hidden area part, and you can kill all of the enemies that shot arrows. Essentially, you kill those, and you get a ton of chests, and then you can go the correct way. And actually, here's where you find this one dude. We'll talk about it once we talk about the next mission. But we were finding all the collectibles so far, and all the consumables.
Did you talk about the new power that we obtained in this chapter?
Yeah, Zeus's Fury.
Oh yeah.
You can shoot like
Theory.
far away, and you can shoot enemies that are very far away. It's a very ranged attack. It's very fast, and you could actually use it during a fight pretty easily. It's actually very accessible. It's one of the actually that's what I use the most. And yeah, we found the oracle, and now we had to go. She was taken away by some birds at that point, and then we had to climb up a temple, which is the next mission. Would you like to?
The next mission is the chapter 6, named Temple of the Oracle, and I did this mission. I think that's a girl that Kratos know.
She got taken away.
Yes, she
by
was
some
taken
harpies.
away by the bad-looking creature in the town square. And I tried to follow to save her, right? And I went into a place, and I met the guy, like he digging
the grave
graves.
digger.
Yeah, the grave digger guy.
And guys, keep him in mind because you're gonna later need to remember him.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of weird, you know. He just warned me, hey, I think this is the grave for you. Be careful. If not, be careful. If not, this is the grave for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? He said that. I'm like, what? Okay, I'll try my best, but hey, it's like what?
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. He was kind of odd. He's like, who are you? And he's like, you don't need to know. It's okay. And what else from there?
Oh, and I remember they was.
The bats that came out of the wall. You had to pull it. You had to pull the statues.
I forgot that part. Yeah, I had to use this 2 statues to cover the 2 holes at the 2 sides, the left and the right. And after that, I think I went out to save the woman, right?
Yeah, again.
Yeah. The woman was hanging in the middle, in the air, right, with the rope.
Yeah, and it
she's
gave you 60
like
seconds.
Yelling, Kratos, save me!
Yeah, she was so annoying. She's very annoying.
Yeah, and I remember I died a lot of times in the mission to save this woman. Yeah, and there's also a time limit to save her. She was so annoying because she kept telling me what to do or yelling and complain when I do all the things when I try to save her, you know. I even want to mute the game because of her. It's really annoying. It's really distracting.
Yeah, I remember.
She's like, what are you doing, Kratos? Save me. I'm gonna die. Save me, Kratos.
So
like
one thing about this game is that you can actually cheese a lot of the things in this game. For example, there are these things that like push you when you're trying to jump. And I remember Suyuan was just jumping, like you don't even have to time it. You could just keep pressing left and A at the same time, and you'll just pass through them. Eventually, she did get it. Like she jumped on the rope, and she got to her, and voila, that's.
Yeah, I tried this mission a lot, and this was so funny, right? After I fell, she just fell off the rope, and she's like dying.
hit the floor. Yeah. That was really funny thing.
Die. Just keep
dying.
dying.
Just splat on the floor. After you save her from the thing, she helps us open the door, and we open a special door that was there.
That's the thing. Do you remember? She looked at my past. Do you remember what?
Oh yeah.
I don't. I just remember she looked at something in my past.
Yeah, she did look at that. Was there anything?
Not really. I just remember that part.
I think she said, "Why would the gods want you to do it?" Something like that. Anyways, she opens a door for us, and it takes us to this cliffside, which I'll talk about later on. There's 2 ways that you can go. One up, and you'll find this like special door that you can't access. And Athena's up there, and then you'll also be able to go to the next area, which is a woman, a statue of a woman holding a long sword, and it's actually a bridge. You can go inside of her, and which will take you to the next level.
Do you remember that in this level we actually found a secret spot on top of the mountain?
What do you
mean? But we couldn't open it.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That.
Yeah,
I just
it's related.
Said that
like
ago.
Until way later.
Yeah, I just said that. It's the door.
Like, it's really odd, right?
Yeah, I thought that was really weird. I wanted to go to. I actually had it in my mind since the very beginning of the game, until the very end. So remember, I was telling you when we finished the game, I'm like, let's go back to it. But then we saw it, So
Yeah.
yeah,
At
it's
the end, they kind of revealed that.
yeah. So anyway, you go inside the Athena statue holding the sword, and that's where you go inside the sewers of Athens, which is a very short mission. There's just several enemies, and it's actually fast. Honestly, that's all there is to it. It looks like a sewer. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can move on from that
Yeah,
one.
we can move on from that chapter 7 because there's nothing. You're just beating some wiggling enemies and nothing special.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like an underground water kind
What
of thing.
one thing that we do have to mention is what happened in the Oracle mission, the one that you did. She told us that we had to go to the desert, and that's what we were going towards, the desert. And once we go to the desert, we have to find the Titan Kronos, and Kronos is gonna be in that desert, and he has the Pandora castle on top of him, and we have to get the Pandora's box. So the Pandora's box is this basically power that you can go against the god, even if you're immortal, just like Kratos. So yeah, it's super cool, and that's basically what we have to do in for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about chapter 8?
This
It's
one?
called, yeah, the Desert of the Dead Soul.
Yeah, sure. I can go over this one. So here, basically, we have to go to the desert and with Kronos and find them, and so you go to this desert and it's just filled with sand. It's like you can't see anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found this area where you could, like, this little temple area, and it told me something about a constellation with stars, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to the stars in the desert area, but as you wait there, you start to hear a and you're like, what the hell? And then that sound starts getting closer, and then closer, and then you're like, what the hell? What's going on? And there's this like lady floating around, walking, and she like, if you attack her, she's like, "Rah!" And she like shoots these lightning bolts at you. It's so crazy. And then if you stop attacking her,
Okay, let me talk about the story and what we have to do here. I think at first, there's a statue woman named Athena. She told us to fight a titan in the desert. And, it is really hard to see things in the desert since it's a sandstorm. I kind of hate this one because of the view. It's not clear. It's so hard to see.
yeah.
And the mission they gave us is to fight 3 sirens and kill her. The hard thing about this is you don't know when will she appear, and
Or
you
where.
have to follow the song in the game to fight her. Plus, the blur from the sandstorm really make it even harder,
To like know exactly where she's at.
yeah.
So basically, the only good thing is that she walks in a routinely kind of way. So she will walk around the same circle over and over. But that means you have to like kind of wait for her. If she leaves, you have to kind of wait until she does the turnaround. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with her until like later. I just hit her, and you have to just hit her enough, and she'll eventually die. But it takes a long time. And I killed the first one, and I just ran around the south of the map, and I ended up finding the next one. So I killed, I guess, the next siren.
Yeah.
But enemies come out randomly too while you're fighting them. So it's like you have to, and they run away when you're just
Yeah.
fighting them. They just run away.
They like shield her and protect her,
Yeah, it's quite bothersome. And then afterwards, you go north, and then you find the last one. But luckily, I'm actually very good at knowing my locations. Once I walked around the map, I already knew where everything was. Yeah, so it was very easy for me to kind of do. But I remember when Suyun was watching me, she was like, "How do you know this is here?" Or like, this is just, you just passed by here one time, so how do you know?
Yeah, he's really good at location, guys. Even in real life, he just look at the map or look at the street one time, and he already know every single little street in in that
Every
big
turn
street,
and
yeah.
and every little
house
thing.
and who lived.
The color and what their how much money they make
Really
and
good at
their
location.
emails and their
Yeah.
passwords, their credit card informations. But that's just about it. I know they're also their IDs too, but
Yeah. After Maru did this mission, I'm like, wow, so fucking hard and weird. But it's so interesting at the same time, right?
yeah. Although those girls did creep me out though. It was a bit scary, honestly. If and not even scared, just uncomfortable. I just don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like when there's a very
I don't know
odd
why it
place.
gives us the feeling that we was in the dream, right?
Yeah,
Feel
kind
like
of.
we're in the dream.
Yeah, you
It's
know.
not real, you know.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's so weird, but it's a good one.
yeah, it's a good mission. So after we passed that part, we went and we sounded some horns. Actually, there was an area where there was like a conveyor belt, and it kept pushing me back, and I had to kick a box, and I eventually got it because if you don't go fast enough, there's a roller thing that kills you. So you have to kick it fast enough while fighting enemies, fend off the enemies. You jump on the top, and then you have to blow a horn. This part was actually really interesting too. There's a dude in the background. He's called Kronos, and he's like just crawling with the Pandora's castle on his back, and you basically have to make sure that that you fend like three girls, right? Three of those girls
Yeah.
at the same time.
Three
But
sirens
you
at
have
the same time.
you have to kill so many. Like you end up killing like 30 of them in total.
They kept respawning, you know.
Yeah, they respawn a ton.
Like you have to wait for the giant guy to come, and the door was closed, and you have to keep beating these three sirens, and they keep respawning until the giant guy came.
And they're very difficult actually. Like they all shoot their thunders, which is really annoying at different times. So you hardly have any time to kill them. So you like have to hit them, shield, hit them, shield, 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 hit them, shield, 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 hit them, and then use the O power, which that means you grab them and break their heads open.
Yeah.
That's how you get health, and that's the only way, which is really difficult.
The tip to beat this one is just keep shooting at the perfect time and beat her by pressing O button, so it can gives you more health for the waiting process. It's quite interesting though, but you have to beat them with the O. If you beat them normal, you're not gonna get health from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so you need to use the circle button to
Be patient, you know, that's the key.
exactly. So yeah, after that you kill them, and the dude's just very close to the pillar. You jump on Kronos, and that's where you like climb on him. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. He's just like going.
Yeah, it's so cool. I don't know why every time I see these kind of giant guy, it reminds me of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
cool,
agree.
you know. I
For
love
sure.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the next one, Pandora's
Yeah.
Castle.
The next chapter is chapter 9, Pandora's Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had to fight the two big old guys. I did well until the part that I had to press button like square, circle, triangle. Yeah, I couldn't do it, you know, I couldn't remember the button. And before it was slow, it gave you around 3 seconds to do it. But in this stage, only give you like 1 second after the screen display the button. So I
displayed
couldn't
it.
do it, you know.
Yeah.
Later, I tried it a lot of times, and at the end, I'm like, Maru,
It's-
can you please help me?
It's actually simple. The whole like if you want to learn how to do that, you just have to turn off your mind. As soon as you see the button react, just press it. Don't even think. Because sometimes you're, oh, it's square. Oh, it's triangle. Don't even think about like you thinking. Just you just press it. It's yeah, you have to learn how to do that. But you should know how to do that since you played a lot of rhythm games in your time. So I don't know how that's hard
Not
for you.
really.
Yeah, I've seen you
don't-
play. I've seen you play them before.
Oh, like audition and things.
Yeah, you
right?
should.
Oh,
This
I
should
love
be
that.
so easy to you. I don't understand. Anyway,
I don't know.
so Pandora's Castle. This one was just kind of about getting in. It wasn't really about anything else. It's just like you were outside, and you fight a few dudes out in outside the castle, and you find a dude, and it didn't fit his voice, by the way. The voice actor, I didn't feel it was a good voice actor, or maybe it just didn't fit him. So yeah, we almost got in, but there were some big ogres that fought us. That's when you were talking about the second ogres, and it was really fun. But yeah, Suyun let me try it after a few tries because she just couldn't get the button thing figured out. So we got in the temple and fought some other dudes, and then we learned that the temple was made by Zeus, which is a dude. A god. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that and move on. A dude. So then we have Rings of Pandora. Here it's basically you're in a big, not even a big room. You're in a hall, and it's a ring, and you have to. The whole concept of this place is you twist this lever, and it spins all the rooms, right?
Yeah. Can I call that a machine operated? Or not really?
I don't even know.
Yeah, that's so odd, and that's so cool at the same time, right? I don't know. That kind of machine bring me to the ancient time, like the king lived, that he had to make a secret way when the army like try to fight him, so he can run out from there.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of ancient movie, and usually the king has a secret way under his bed. So when he turns his bed up, he can
go under there.
A base.
Yeah, like
something.
a secret passage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and that's the whole concept. Actually, just to let you guys know, in Rings of Pandora, technically this mission, it has 3, I don't want to say mini missions, 3 really, really, really big mini missions inside of it, which is the Challenge of Atlas, of Poseidon, and of Hades, right?
Yeah.
So it has 3 parts inside this place, including that room. Which,
3 different challenges.
Right. So basically, there's a skull door, which there's 3 skull doors that you need to go through in this, or just 2. No, just 2. There are 2 skull doors that you end up finding. That means you need to find 2 keys or whatever. Which I'll just say keys at the moment, and then I'll get to that part in a second. But basically, we get to a room that has a piece of like light shining when you like twist the one of the levers, but you can't do anything. And there's also a pool with a hole in the bottom, like a water hose, but you can't swim down. So basically, you just have to go on with the mission as best as you can. You twist it again, and then you start doing the Challenge of Atlas. But I think here we did get another weapon. We got the blade of Artemia, right?
Yes. That's a sword kind of a blade.
Yeah, it's a really slow, but it's really strong. That's one thing we could say. It has a lot of knockback too. So I recommend you to use this like, I don't even know, because we never used it.
Yeah, we barely use it, guys.
But it was cool when you did get it. Like 100 enemies came on screen, and you just have to kill them all. I thought that was super cool. And yeah, but that part was actually really hard because I remember I also had to kill like a ton of Medusas. No, that was the Challenge of Atlas. We're still not there yet.
Yeah.
Here we had to get the. We found another room with the 2 keys. They were called Muse keys.
Yeah.
With they call it carvings, but they were keys. So yeah, that was all. It really in the Rings of Pandora.
Yeah, I think kind of the end, like we obtained the sword, and that's all, I think.
Yeah, I think that was it. And so that basically brings us to
chapter 11, which is the Challenge of Atlas.
Atlas, yeah. So here, once again, you fight a ton of enemies. A ton of them were Medusas, and then this is where you get Hades' shield, right? You get this thing called Hades' shield, and you could use the sword here. It's really good. And so you need 2 shields to beat this area. You need the shield of Hades and the shield of Zeus.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this one was pretty cool.
Yeah,
And this one, I remember I had to kick a thing, and then I run into the secret room in the back. Remember? there was a like a block, and I kicked it towards the switch, and I had to like
Oh,
dodge.
I remember.
I have to dodge
yeah,
roll.
that's quite hard though.
Yeah, that was a hard one to figure out, but I eventually figured it out because you can kick items. So what I did was kick it, and then when it hit on top of when it hit like on top of the lever part, the thing in the back would flip. So I kicked it and ran towards the wall.
Let me talk a bit about the beginning that Maru did. I think from this, like, it's getting harder and harder from chapter 9, you know? From that chapter 9.
Yeah, it started to get
It's not
much.
going easy on you anymore. They're like, hey, you know how to play. We're not gonna make it easy
Get
on
your
you.
shit together and pick it up. Get your shit together and throw it away. Get
Yeah.
your shit together.
And in this chapter, you have to fight a ton of Medusas at the same time. And you know that means a ton of them shoot laser at you at the same time. One hit is enough to kill you after they got you frozen. Super annoying. But in this part, do you remember, Maru? They actually let you to moving around when
A
they...
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when they
actually, I
froze.
talked about this part already, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically it's good that you mentioned that it did get a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
I remember I did have a little bit harder of a time there.
And one thing really funny about it is the game didn't allow you to use her power against her. That's the funny
it does.
part. No, they said you can't use the freeze power against Medusa.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just like, what? Why do you even give us the power and not let us use it? You
But I
know?
mean, we can, just not against
No,
her.
yeah.
So basically from here, yeah, you get the other shield, the Zeus one, and that's when you find like this this Atlas statue where he's holding onto the world. Like, you know Atlas, guys. Everyone should know Atlas. It's the guy that's holding onto like the world on his back, on his shoulders. So you find that one. And I thought that was it. There was a door in the back, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to it. But there was actually a secret door that I went into first, and you hit that switch, the lever, and the guy, he throws the boulder that he's holding, the world boulder. He throws it, and it breaks the wall. So you go into there, and then you find a tomb outside. This tomb has a dead body of the architect's son, and yeah, basically from there.
I think there's one part that we didn't talk about. There's the part that has a time limit in this chapter that you gotta beat everyone
That's the
on the
Hades
floor
part.
before it's collapse and kill you. Do you remember? Like, we have to do it really fast and run to.
Oh yeah, this was
yeah,
it.
we were
Yeah.
struggling here for a while
Okay, so yeah,
before we get the school thing,
the skull.
the score from the game.
Yeah, this was, I think, the Oh yeah, you get one of the keys here.
And
you
get the handle of Atlas here, I think.
Yeah, but this is here. This is where you get the key, one of the muse keys. Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, basically,
But
the
you
floor
remember,
falls.
right?
Yeah, the
It's
floor
like
falls.
collapse
The floor collapses,
Yeah,
and
collapse.
everyone dies.
Yeah.
So you have to do it in. I'm talking about like a specific amount of time, and if you
Yeah.
go any slower, you're fucked. That part was really interesting. We tried like 5 or 10 times. Yeah, that one was good. I liked it, and yeah, from there, like I said, you go into the tomb, and yeah, you actually
Open the-
you open it and
the
you take the
coffin.
dude's head. You like rip it off his head.
Yeah,
and,
that's so fucked up. God, right?
yeah.
It's like, you know, the skeleton, you know, like open the tomb and like jump on their body and like slowly like put their head out of the thing. Yes, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and I remember after that it showed a cutscene of him, of Kratos, and how it was saying like it was all his fault, like everything was his fault. But that's what the game makes you think. Like, he killed everyone. He got into war because he wanted to. He killed his family because he wanted to. But later you'll figure out that's not the case. So from there, you needed to go back to the skull door that I first talked about, one of the 2 skull doors. But there's a roller thing that like goes around the So we're basically back at the what's the mission called? The Rings of Pandora. We're back there since this, like I said, this mission has like 3 missions inside of it, 4 technically, and you basically get the roller to fall after you activate a switch, and then some stairs falls, and then that's when you can finally go to the second, which is Poseidon's challenge, the challenge of Poseidon.
Oh,
And yeah, do you want to talk about this one a little bit?
sure. Let me see. In here. Oh, I remember this one.
The dogs.
Yeah, at first I gotta fight these really weird, like I can call, I call it baby creatures.
They're puppies.
3 heads. The big one has 3 heads, right?
They're like Cerberus, yeah.
If you not kill them fast enough, these baby gonna grow and it'll be a million trillion times harder to beat them.
So you have to kill them fast. That's like the
Yeah.
whole gist of this.
And there's a ton of them, so make sure to kill it fast before it grows, guy.
So yeah, that's basically she killed a ton of them. Actually, she did a good job after she died a few times, and from there you fight some like 2 big dudes, and I remember even there were some dudes that were trying to shoot you with arrows, right? And you were like trying to figure out how to use Zeus's fury. Yeah, you had to shoot arrows, and you're like, oh, because they were really far away, and you had to push a block to get close to them, but their arrows kept exploding. So yeah, at this point you get to an area where there's a chamber. Actually, I'm not even gonna talk about that yet. There's these dudes hanging from the top, and they're still alive. They're like in cages. So you go up a slope and you figure out that you have to sacrifice someone, and yeah, we're there.
Okay, let me talk about this thing first. I don't know if you remember. After you said like pushing the box and something.
I didn't say that.
Pushing the rock and thing to
Oh.
cover myself or
Yeah.
something. And then I went inside a thing that gave me a ton of red dress. Do you remember? I had to run inside and draw outside and run inside and draw outside.
Yeah, you did have to do that.
Yeah, it gave us a ton of red power so we can upgrade our stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool place, you know. It's just open it, but it has a trap thing, so you have
The
to
trap
run
doors.
in it. Yeah, open the chest and 1 second out. Yeah, and keep doing it all over again, like that one. And the next one, like he said, like yeah. Let me see. Oh, that's the thing that I have to put one guy, the guy in one place and burn him as a sacrifice.
Yeah, we had to sacrifice one dude, and after you sacrifice him, you can keep going. But this is one of the parts that we talked about. The game was kind of clunky because there's a lever that you have to bring back to another lever, and then you can use it. Like the cage goes down, and you can push the guy up the slope. I remember you had a little bit of a problem with this part because you had to like push the person up, but let them go, fight some enemies, push it back up, fight some enemies, push it back up. It was a little bit annoying because it's just, I don't know, it wasn't a good level in my opinion.
And you guys know the tip here is to push him to the part that the draw can keep him there. Still, while you are busy fighting the enemies, I do, you know, and at the end we did sacrifice the guy, like burn him to death, right?
Yeah, we did.
I do feel bad for the guy though.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He
He's
wasn't
like
bad.
kind of like.
He's a soldier.
He's really scared when I try to push him and like, what are you doing and this
Yeah.
and you
Just
know?
let me free.
Yeah,
poor
he's
guy.
so scared.
But yeah, basically, from there, we went into the other room, which Suyuan found a trident, which would let us swim.
Yeah, by having this power, I now can breathe infinitely in the water.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could just swim. From there, you had to find what was it? The woman? You had to like find her underwater.
Yeah, something, right?
Yeah, the daughter of Zeus or some Poseidon, the daughter of Poseidon.
I just remember one part that Kratos kissed the girl.
Yeah, you had to
Do you
kiss her.
remember in the water? It's kind of funny.
And there was, I believe, there was an area where like you didn't go to, two areas that you didn't go to, and actually
Yeah.
the other area had the mermaid key, the second key for the muse key, for the special door. So after we did that, I believe we killed another horde of enemies, and eventually
Back to
we
the place, right?
yeah, back to the place, and then from there we went and saw a statue of Aphrodite, and it said that I believe it said there's only one way, and Aphrodite is the only person that knows how to get out. So we had to like turn on this switch, and there was actually a way in under the water where you can go into a little cave, and there was an elevator there that would bring you down. So I thought that was super interesting that you could, do that in the game. And yeah, we escaped and we went back to the Ring of Pandora, and we went back to the water where the roller was. But one thing that I do want to tell you guys that we did before anything here is we went to that door, to that special door. And wait, did we do that here?
I think when it took us back, that's all right, of the level.
Yeah, we didn't get the second muse key yet at this point. We get that in the Hades thing. So yeah, from there we got the second skull, and we used it. So that took us to the next area, which was
Chapter 13,
Yeah.
Challenge of Hades.
Challenge of Hades, exactly. And this place looks like hell. It looks super evil, and actually I wrote a ton for this. Basically here, I'm just gonna try to go over as fast as possible.
As my memories, I think they kind of challenge you for a blood challenge.
You do a ton of these challenges,
Yeah.
right? And there's a ton of challenges that you do. Like you have to kill an enemy at a certain place. You have to kill all the enemies in a maze. You have to just a ton of challenges. Basically, the gist of this mission is that you go around and you have to open up a certain door. So once you get to these doors, there's like these rolling balls that go at you, and you have to dodge them. And by the time you get to the final room in the very back, it tells you, hey, you have to go and you have to escape in one of these random doors. So you have to like dodge and open the doors at the same time.
I love to see this one. It's so cool.
It was
so
really
crazy.
cool. I had to say that.
Yeah, they actually told you that there's a dead end and one way out, so you have to keep trying.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Besides that, there was one really top place in the main area with wood, where you had to jump on like wood and walk on it. And I remember I would keep cheesing it because I would skip a lot of it by jumping onto a different piece of wood. That's the last part we found the muse key. And actually, it leads us to the final part in the Hades area. I know we're not talking about a lot through here, but essentially it's kind of the same thing here. And there's a lot to talk about here, actually. So in this part right here, we turned a switch that opened a door that we passed by, a minotaur door. It's really huge. So we went back to that area, and that's where we fought the boss. It's like this minotaur boss essentially, and he has a ton of armor. You have 3 phases of armor, and you can stand either at the bottom of the area or at the top, and you can hit his like face and everything. You basically break his armor with each phase, like once you lower down his health, and yeah, you shoot him with the freaking missile, right? It's like a missile, or not a missile, like a pillar, an arrow.
Yeah, it looks fun to fight him. I don't think this is too hard. You just need to keep trying and be.
He has a lot
patient.
of life. He has a ton of life
to beat a boss like him.
Yeah, it was not too hard. It was just the
Patient, keep doing it. Yeah.
Right, over and over. So after you kill him, you go up the room.
I think in this one we kind of acquire a power, right? A new power.
Oh, the Army of Hades. Yes.
Yes.
This is a power where you basically get to use a bunch of ghosts that help attack. and the more you upgrade it, the stronger they are, and the more that appear. So if you're in an area where there's 50 people, these ghosts will eat them up so fast. You'll go from seeing 50 enemies to 0 enemies
Yes,
in a
like
second.
they're your best friend. Trust me.
Exactly, they're your best friends. They help you a ton. So yeah, you basically get it, and now we already have the Muse key, and we have the last skull door. So we end up actually at this point we went back and went back to that door, right? And we found out that you didn't need those to proceed with the story, but if you did get them, you could actually get like a ton of health, a ton of upgrade points, the spirits, and it upgrades your health and it upgrades your mana. It's so beautiful.
I actually have a name for this room. It's called a wonderful room.
Oh, really?
Which is the god give us health, the power bar. I don't know how can you call that. The blue one.
Mana.
Yeah, mana bar and a ton of red stuff to upgrade our thing. Technically everything. Yeah, and
We
makes
leveled up
our
a lot.
power stronger.
Yeah, a lot stronger. Yeah, basically that's what we did there. Yeah, and from there was the final skull door, which we did we did all the challenges of the gods, and in my opinion, that's where we were getting Pandora's box. But yeah, there was another cutscene, and it showed how he got his weapon by Ares. Ares actually gave him the weapon when he was about to die, and yeah, I think like as he was about to get killed, Ares gave him the weapon really fast, and was it like that? I think he saw the vulture thing, the thing with the face. Remember the bird with the man face, and he saw that.
It reminded him about the past,
that time
right?
when he got the weapon and killed this enemy, and so Ares wanted to make him a really strong warrior. That's the whole point of this story, but he had to kill everyone, including his family. So that's why he didn't think it was fair, because he was being manipulated. Which brings us into the next one, probably one of the missions that I think was the least interesting of
this one called Chapter 14, the Cliff of Magnus. And I think the highlight of this one is the 2 necklaces, right?
Yeah, the 2 necklaces.
Yeah.
And basically to get the necklaces in this mission, you have to do a puzzle. The first puzzle were these like not spikes, some
oh, I hate this one. It's like rock and underground spear.
Yeah, the spears from the ground, they come up. So you have to get up on a rock, but you have to push it to the correct area at the perfect time, jump on it. But this is the rock that is impossible to get on. So yeah, we spent a little while on this one.
Okay.
But it was fun though. It was still fun.
Yeah, this mission is like I had to turn on the switch, push the rock with time limit, and use the rock to jump on another ledge. If you do not do it on time, a ton of speed from underground will appear and kill you.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But
but after you get that, you get a red necklace, which is allow you to open some secret thing, right?
I think it's part of the mission. You can also find a cave later in the mission as well, where you go underwater and you find 3 chests that give you a bunch of spirit orbs. But yeah, besides that, you go and you get the other amulet. In the second amulet, you have to do a puzzle where you have to put these pieces on a wall, and then you get the amulet.
Yeah.
So that one was fun, but I really was kind of baffled about it. I didn't know how to complete it, so we did look up this one. But it was the only thing we did look up technically. So that brings us into the next one. Actually, we want to talk about the cutscene, right? After we did get the necklace, that's when Kratos saw that he was being controlled by Ares, and the last 2 people that he killed were his wife and his daughter. That's the last thing that we completely saw there, and we reached the one of the last places called the Architect's Tomb.
Yeah, that's chapter 15.
Yeah, chapter 15.
You want to talk about this one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, basically it's just a kind of like a ruins area.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah,
one.
you have to jump on these platforms while these saw blades would come at you, and Yeah. It's really easy, but you have to open 3 doors, and you have to pull a statue, and you have to like hit 3 levers at the same time, so all the doors can open. So you were kind of moving a crane, like left and right, and you would have to just do it perfectly where the crane would fall and hit one of the would hit the floor, so it would allow you to see the one of the first levers, and from there you move the crane to one of the other levers, then you move the statue to another one. It doesn't sound too interesting because it isn't.
Yeah. It's quite complicated to explain though, right?
Yeah, it's just like you have 3 levers and you have to put something on top of it, and
I
the doors
call
open.
this like to open that door, you need 2 switches
3 switches.
And another one is like go through the saw blades.
Yeah, you have to step on it and you have a time limit. So it was still fun, but I don't think it was really like super interesting. It was fun though. It was all right. Afterwards, you actually get Pandora's box.
I think there's one thing in the middle, right? The one that's quite interesting, the conveyor belt. That you fight on the thing that's flying, and they keep through shooting at you, and all the enemy around, and the fire thing could keep shooting fire out.
Was it here?
Yeah, it's here.
Okay, so yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we had to fight a ton of enemies here, and there were conveyor belts that push you to the left or right, and to
Yeah.
rollers, which you would easily die in. Just to kind of let you guys
it's
know.
quite fun, right? What do you think?
It was
because
fun.
you play it, you know.
It was fun, but just a bit annoying if you did die, so you had to redo it. But to be honest, it wasn't like all that crazy. It was just okay. It was good. But yeah, there was a ton of enemies. It was good. So
Pandora box, right?
you get Pandora's box, and Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus are brothers. You figure that out. And from there, you pull it out from the front door, and Ares already knows that you pulled it out. So he grabs a pillar from a random building, and he just throws it at you from Athens all the way to the castle.
1,000 miles
It's like
away.
so far away, and he stabs you, and it like goes and hits the door, and he just takes the box. He gets his
he
little
just
bird
stole
guys.
the box from you.
He throws, yeah, and from there you technically die.
I think before he kind of dying, he think of the memories that he had before.
Yeah,
Like-
with his wife and his kids,
and kid and everything.
actually the ashes of his family are what makes his skin white,
Yeah.
which is kind of fucked up if you think about it. But yeah, essentially that's that part.
Yeah,
Which-
from this point, you know, I felt he's not a bad guy because he was controlled by Ares, right? But he didn't mean to like do this and do that and do that and kill his family. But later, when he realized that, he started to kind of hate him so bad. That's what he wanted to get revenge now, right?
Right. Yeah. I think it's very good to know that, like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that he went through was pretty fucked up, right?
Okay, I think time to get to the chapter 16, which is the path of Hades.
Right. Okay. So this one, basically, you're in hell, and the cool thing about this level is that everything, it's like people are falling from the sky the whole time in this mission, and as you're falling, you grab onto this dude that like grabbed onto the spine of whatever it is, and you like kick him, and he ends up falling. He actually knows you, and he's like, "Hey, it's you. You killed me." And yeah, you get back up, and all this stage really it's just a bunch of sticks with blades that go around, and you have to jump on them and walk. Be careful and jump on platforms. Really, this stage honestly wasn't like, wow, it looked different, which I could appreciate. I could appreciate that it looked different than most other stages. Very, very different. But it was very simple. That's why all I can really say about it is that I liked it because I love to platform in games. But considering the platforming in this game is not all that good, it's kind of clunky. So I just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. It was so unexpected in this part, right? Because you were saved by the grave digger guy from chapter 6 before long ago.
Yeah. You actually,
Like the Temple of Oracle.
actually, when you beat the level, you see this piece of rock fall with a chain, and you climb it, and then you meet that grave robber, and he's like, "Hey, I just opened it up like 5 minutes ago. So lucky you.
Hey, and if I linked it to the thing that he said before, he said, hey, if you're not careful enough, I
You're
may
gonna die.
dig your grave. And it's actually true
He actually
because he make his grave and he
dug
digging
it.
out from underworld, from hell.
Yeah. So he did die, and
That's
he
so
did.
cool, you didn't know that's real.
Yeah, he did predict what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, from there you fight a bunch of enemies, and you go through Athens again. You fight some enemies there, and like Athens is just super destroyed, even more than before. And you go back to the cliff area where Athena's sword was at the bridge, and that special door that we couldn't open, and that's where we get to the final boss, Ares.
Yeah, I think we did met Ares there. And I tried to take the Pandora back from him and
Yeah, he
got
throws
the power.
a piece of lightning.
And then it turned me to a fucking giant god as big as Ares, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we get to chapter, the last one, which is Ares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the name of the last chapter. So yeah, basically you get the Pandora's Pandora's box back from him, because you like take it from him and you open it, and then you start suddenly turning super big. And you in the first phase, there's 3 phases in this fight, the final battle. The first one where you fight him
Just normal,
at the
right?
normal size, and it's a really cool battle. We can't really say much about it because you kind of have to see it for yourself. You have these 2 fucking gigantic dudes fighting in a river or in an ocean or whatever. It's disgustingly awesome. You guys should play or watch a playthrough.
It's like in the first fight, we fought, and the more I hit him, the more my health and the blue ball fill up. So I just need to keep using the ghost power.
She cheesed it with the ghost power. It was so OP.
And it helped me a lot. And it was so cool. That power is so useful in actually the drill match, you know?
And actually once after we beat that part, he's like, oh, well, I know a way to defeat you. Even if you're stubborn here in a fight, I can kill you a different way. So you end up like, you're in a dream or whatever, and you're at the place where you killed your wife and your daughter. So
that's part so sad and so fucked up.
So in this part, basically, more Kratos appear, and they're trying to kill your family. So you're like, no, I won't let you kill my daughter and wife. So you end up having to kill all them Kratos. And once again, those ghost powers are so useful, right?
Yeah,
like
it's like the mission here is I have to protect my wife and my kid from a ton of evil Kratos trying to kill them.
And you get to heal them by hugging them.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's one cool thing about it that I really like is my wife and kid has their own HP thing, HP bar. When the HP is low, I have to comfort them by hugging them.
And it takes your health and it gives it to them.
Yeah, pressing the O button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels so cool, so sweet in this part.
Yeah, it's a really nice fight, and you kill a ton of them actually. And with the ghost powers, once again, super useful. Even the dudes the Kratos that were shooting the lightning, it went and killed them. It was extremely useful if you're in this fight or in any that is like too many people.
Yeah, and after that, I successfully protect my family I think that's a kind of illusion, since they dead. And after that, Ares killed my family in that illusion, and we return back to reality.
Yeah,
and
which
I have to fight him again in the third one, right?
Well, in that part, you don't have your weapons because he gave you those weapons, the blades of chaos.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why you go to the statue of Athena and you take the sword out, the bridge, and that's what you use to fight. Next to the cliff. And yeah, you basically fight him. The fight's actually, it seems very hard, but it's actually very easy. I died like 3 times. Suyun died like 4 times, and then I beat him the next time. Like he didn't even touch me once. So it's very easy. It's actually super cool. I'd actually like to see you guys watch it or play it for yourself. You guys know it's that God of War-esque sort of feel to it, where you fight each other really bad. It's super cool. But anyways, after that fight,
I think we defeated him.
Yeah,
And
basically
the
he
god
dies.
said something to us,
That
right?
you can't get your nightmares removed, but we can try to forgive you for what you did, killing a bunch of people. And then they're like, hey, we got a throne for you.
No, but after she told Kratos that he was so sad, he's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's tried to kill himself. Like the first part in the chapter 1.
Yeah, so that first cutscene where he's like, oh, the gods won't ever help me. And he jumps off and tries to kill himself. But then they actually lift him back on that cliff where that special door was at. And they're like, no, you won't. For the sins you've committed, we're not going to let you kill yourself by your hands. So, yeah, you're gonna have to live. And you know what? Lucky enough for you, we have a position for that god of war. So you're gonna be the god of war.
And she also gave us the sword as a gift.
Yeah,
Athena sword, right?
which you will later get to use in God of War 2.
Ooh.
So you start out with the Blades of Athena, which is gonna be super cool when we play that for the next podcast. You at the end of the game, all you do is you can't do anything else. Like you can't leave the area on the cliff, on the top of the cliff. You can only go inside Mount Olympus. You go up and you see like a little scaled trophy of Ares and a scaled trophy of the Minotaur boss, and then you have your chamber, your throne, which you could sit on, and it will go to the credits and finish.
Yeah, so badass, right? Just
Yeah.
sit on
He
your
sits-
throne like the king.
He sits on it like he's a badass. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. So one thing I do want to talk about is that it does, like, if you go into what you get at the end of the game is called treasures. Basically, like credits, it gives you documentaries about the game, how the game was created, 3D models, and characters that didn't make it into the game. That sort of stuff. I thought it was super cool that games just don't do that nowadays. Like, they just don't. So it's beautiful to see that they do that in the game as an Easter egg. I love that sort of thing. That's one of the best quality things that you'll see in games throughout the GameCube, PlayStation, Xbox era, up to like the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and Wii U era. So wonderful to know. Besides that, we did try there's a 10 room challenge that you can do. It's called the Challenge of the Gods, but we didn't play that. It was like whatever. But you can do that at the end of the game. But besides that, there's one secret video and 2 other secret messages that you can open. If actually a few of them, not just one, but they like tell you the story of Kratos, like his mom died, and when she was telling him who his dad was, she turned into a monster, and with her last dying breath, she's like, "It's Zeus." So you find out that Zeus is your dad in the game. Not only that, but in the next game, it kind of teases that you have a brother that got separated from you because he was weak in Sparta. So they threw him out into the mountains, and he got killed. So he's in the underworld now, and he hates you. He just completely hates you. So in the next game, I think you're gonna see him, and he's gonna try to kill you. Besides that, I think that was really about it. And I'm gonna guess that in God of War 2 or in God of War 3, that's when you tried to fight Zeus. I think it's in God of War 3. I really don't remember, but we're gonna have to play the second game and the PSP ones, and we're gonna have to play just all of them so we can get the full story. I think it would be fun to do all of them in the podcast. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty fun, but I think we can go ahead and finish about now, right?
Yes.
We talked a pretty long time about God of War, and I don't know. I wanted to talk more. I didn't want to go as fast about it, but obviously we got things to do, and this has to be posted today. So I hope that you guys did enjoy the whole podcast, and you guys can check me out in all of my social medias. Just look up Maru-chan and you'll be able to find me. Either through the Anchor or the YouTube site, you guys can find me there. I also stream about every single day, and if you guys would like to join my Discord community, you can. It's called the Maru-chan Maru-chan community. Yeah, something like that. I don't even know the name. I'm kind of rushed, but would you like to plug yourself before we stop?
I think I'm fine. You know, I think that's good as long as people enjoy it. That's what matters, right?
That's what matters,
And
exactly.
thank you for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much, and we will talk to you
Next time.
on the next Before Thoughts.
See ya.
Bye.